CBC.
In fact, the banker, I think, was losing more sleep than I was.
But that was a new
artistic
one.
success, financial failure. You know?
Certainly an artistic success. It was a magnificent
Well,
achievement.
some people would question that too.
This is footage from an interview with Walt Disney conducted by the CDC. But what film was Walt talking about in that clip? It was actually Snow White, the massively successful film that sparked generations of Disney magic. And here's Walt Disney himself talking about it in this light. So while this clip might be slightly out of context, I feel that this explanation fits better with a certain other Disney film. It's one that Walt never even had a hand in making, but I feel that it's one he would have wanted to make. This is Treasure Planet. The story for this movie is one thing, and it's the only thing that matters. Original. It's an original story that's so refreshing for the industry. I mean, come on, be real. If this was made today, it would have stood out for that reason alone. In the age of reboots and sequels and The Matrix Resurrections, But this film actually came out in the ancient year of 2002. That's the year I was born, baby. The same year as, let's see here, Lilo and Stitch and Ice Age? Some decent, but kinda not good competition if you ask me. You know, Disney wasn't doing well financially, so they needed something to get your ass in that movie theater seat. So did they play a safe bet by piping out a sequel to a pre-established IP? No. They made an ambitious and expensive work of art. Wow, is this even the same company? Long story short, the production team faced a ton of challenges with meshing 3D assets with traditionally animated characters. I mean, for God's sake, this character's arm is completely CG, while almost the rest of him is hand-drawn. That's impressive. So did all of this hard work pay off? Oh no. Treasure Planet did not go over well critically or financially. It cost an estimated $180 million to produce and advertise, and only made back about $109 million bucks. That is a 71 million Benjamins loss, making it one of the biggest flops not just for Disney but of all time. That's a big oof, especially for a company that's already in the financial gutters. But how was the movie subjectively? Were the critics justified in their criticisms? Well, I don't think it's a surprise to anyone that they were incorrect. This movie is just fantastic, and while it's not perfect, it doesn't have to rely on any kind of nostalgia to achieve that. Wow, imagine that! A world crafted from pure imagination. It's really the biggest strength of this film. The world building is on the level of, like, Star Wars to me. But enough pre-game fluff. Let's just dive right into this magical world. The story of this film is completely authentic and just dang inspiring. Hold on to your butts, because this plot summary is gonna go fast. Jim Hawkins, a fatherless emo teen, one day dreams of being something amazing. I mean, his dad left, but at least he has a surfboard. He knows the tale of Treasure Planet, a planet where a treasure is buried. The loot of 1,000 worlds turns out to be real, kickstarting a pirate quest to get the treasure. It's your standard, get the treasure using the MacGuffin to get there adventure, but this film takes it in interesting and creative directions. The MacGuffin of choice is a star map which only Jim can open, so he puts together a crew and a ship to go find this treasure. And this is where the story derails from the norm, because instead of having a rival pirate ship race them to this treasure, the actual villain team consists of the crew itself. There's a mutiny halfway through Treasure Planet, and this twist of the narrative creates a really interesting second and third act. There's some stuff with a black hole tidal wave, which we'll get to later. They make it to the planet, where they find that the loot is in the center of the celestial body, but they trigger an alarm that sets the planet on a doomsday clock, and they lose the treasure. So here we've got a Goonies / Cave of Wonders plot thing going on in our third act, and this is why I say this film has original ideas. Because in Aladdin, the Cave of Wonders sequence was a small part of the story. In Treasure Planet, it's the freaking climax of the whole movie. I mean, it makes sense, right? It's the conflict with the largest scale. Toy Story 3 ends with the incinerator, Endgame ends with the massive battle, and even older films like A New Hope end with a gigantic climactic battle. And the one for Treasure Planet delivers big time. You guys will hear me talk about this time and time again, but I absolutely love it when films solve their climaxes with clever solutions. That might sound a little vague, but hear me out on this. Take a guess which film has the best climax, in my opinion. Leave a comment with your opinion. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that, because I'm going to tell you now. It's Wreck-It Ralph. And I don't mean Wreck-It Ralph 2, The Search for More Money. And I'm not talking about Wreck-It Ralph 2, Ralph Wrecks Disney's Bottom Line, because that's something completely different. Let's go over the established rules. Number 1, cybugs can change depending on what they eat. Number 2, cybugs can be killed through flying into a beacon. Number 3, Sugar Rush has an explosive mountain. Number 4, Turbo can change his code and by proxy his appearance. Number 5, if any of the cybugs reach the edge of the world, they'll kill Penelope, one of the main characters. That is 5 established rules that all play a part in the climax. And this is what happens. First, a cybug eats King Candy, who turns out to be Turbo. Since cybugs change depending on what they eat, and Turbo can change his code on the fly, these two rules combine to let the antagonists themselves combine, resulting in this awesome final boss. Not only is it completely and insanely and totally awesome, but it's on theme since it's a video game movie. The only way to kill this thing is with a beacon, so Ralph punches the top off this explosive mountain, which kills all the cybugs, which Turbo now is. With one action from Ralph, everything went from hopeless to assured victory. That's freaking cool, and not a lot of movies solve their climaxes in clever ways like this. Spider-Man No Way Home does this with its climax too. I was actually contemplating making a video about it, but you guys don't come here for Marvel content, and I can get that. I'll leave it to new rock stars. Treasure Planet kind of does this clever solution making as well. Their ship doesn't have nearly enough power to leave the atmosphere. The planet's destruction is coming from a portal behind them, and there's a map that can change portal locations. So how do they solve this? They turn around and charge straight at this portal while Jim jumps off the ship and changes the location with no time to spare. That's cool, and while it's not nearly as complex as Wreck-It Ralph's ending, it's still a really good finale. However, I will say that the pacing isn't perfect in this movie. We spend a relatively short time on the planet itself, which makes it feel a bit rushed. For comparison, Atlantis: The Lost Empire has a much more slow burn of a finale, making it a bit more satisfying. It spends like half of its time in the city, instead of a quarter or a third of the runtime. Plus, we were all distracted by something. A quest movie should spend more time on the actual destination in my opinion. Still, it's well done here. And you can totally tell that this scene where the portal changes around to different locations was supposed to set up a sequel. These location changes were foreshadowing future planets to go to, but unfortunately, we never had the privilege. It's like that scene in Dreamscaperers where Bill changes from flashback image to flashback image. Alas, we will likely never see these planets explored. So let's talk about the world building in this film. Like I said before, it's legitimately on the level of Star Wars here. You have different species living with regular humans, robot policemen, rock people, lots of diversity here. Every culture is defined but also overlapping. But it's not just in the variance and character design that makes this film enjoyable. It's the environments that really make Treasure Planet stand out. Everything is propelled by solar sails, which is real-world science actually, and it makes sense, right? Ships have sails, so solar sails just fit the themes. Fun fact, did you know that solar sails work by using radiation pressure given off by sunlight? Could be true. Found it on Wikipedia. I don't know. Don't fucking ask me. And we haven't even talked about the second act action scene yet. Well, I mentioned it, but here we go. A sun turns into a supernova, sending a wave of plasma towards the ship. So instead of a large wave of water, it's an exploding sun this time. But that's not all, because after this, the sun turns into a black hole. That's just really great storytelling. Supernovas turn into black holes in real life too. Obviously, it would take a little bit longer than this to happen, but it's just artistic liberties. The theme of pirates on a pirate ship just meshes together with space adventures so smoothly. Who would have thought it? Now let's talk about the characters for a hot minute. Jim Hawkins is your standard teen protagonist who just wants to see the world. I mean, Disney practically invented that archetype. You can tell he cares about his mother. He's just having a hard time since his dad isn't around. Speaking of which, this film wasn't lucky enough to escape the cliche of a dead or missing parent. I mean, okay, I suppose it's something a lot of kids can relate to, sadly, but at least they make it part of his character arc. And it never actually gets resolved, go figure. Jim is an emo kid. These characters are usually insufferable to me, but the movie doesn't lay it on thick or anything. To be honest, he's a lot less unlikable than I was expecting. Next up is Long John Silver. Hang on, is this guy like a seafood restaurant? No? Well then why is that his name? Well, did they name the restaurant after him? They just call him, like, Silver in the movie anyway. He's our twist villain, and I've seen them done better. It's pretty obvious he'd have to be the villain since we don't have any third-party pirates going after the treasure by the second act, so you can see it coming from a mile away. And they don't even really try to hide it. And he is actually redeemed by the end of this film, which was kind of handled well. Jury's still out on that. It's that scene from Indiana Jones where he has to choose between the treasure and saving his friend. He just warms up to Jim, and he can't let him die. I mean, I wasn't expecting like Ryan Johnson levels of subverting expectations, but it is a little plain. Now, I'm sure some of you have been waiting for me to talk about this character. I've been avoiding it long enough, but now I have to. Ben the Robot is actually the f***ing worst. This movie has Phantom Menace syndrome, where a goofy comic relief character is forcefully inserted into the rectum of this film by means of executive interference. Why did this have to happen? Because God hates us. This character is really annoying, and he's pretty much useless too. We're done with this guy. But the real MVP is Morpho. He is so adorable, and he also has story relevance where he transforms into the map, tricking John into thinking Jim has it. These kind of pet characters can sometimes be irrelevant in these kind of films, but not here. And Amelia and Delbert are just kinda there, and of course they're the romantics of the film. Romantics meaning they make babies. Moving on. Despite its flaws, I still really enjoyed this movie. It's been a while since I've seen something so mercifully original in its setting and characters. Sure, the movie falls into some cliches, but they're the ones that are the hardest to avoid, so I can understand. The story kept my interest all the way through and left me wanting more, and that's really all that matters in the end, right? I would have loved to have seen a Treasure Planet 2 and a Treasure Planet 3, but I guess it just wasn't meant to be. Jim became a space captain, his mother rebuilt the bar where she works, everything has a nice little bow on it. And besides this nice little ending, there's not much else to discuss here. So that is Treasure Planet. Let me know in the comments, do you guys like this movie? Have you even seen it before? Well, I'm assuming since you watched this video, you've seen it, but hey, I'm not judging. Anyway guys, that's all for this review. Comment below what kind of outfit candles my avatar should wear next. Go check out my Instagram for new full body fashion drawings. We've been improving our use of lighting with these drawings, so I think you'll really like the most recent one I did. Actually, I'll show you that one. Follow me over there for more fashion art and extra content with every video. Subscribe to this channel for more movie and TV reviews, and also some video essay stuff coming in the near future. If you have any specific requests for videos, drop a comment in my subreddit and I'm likely to check it out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. Peace out.